The last 100 years' energy consumption is equivalent to more than half the total consumption throughout the world over 2,000 years. Now the forecasts are predicting that the world's power supply will increase by 35% up to 2020. How is this going to happen? Already the big power corridors are long enough to stretch 12 times around the world. Greenpeace, landowners and other interest organizations are working to oppose more overhead power lines. The problem with conventional power transmission is that it encroaches on the environment and that alternating current loses voltage on its way from the power source to the consumer. One solution to this is to use direct current in power lines beneath the ground. But that would take 37 years to solve the problem before theory became practice. One of the key people behind the solution was Lam. The silver thread was a nickname his wife gave to the technology. On July 13, 1977, 9 million New Yorkers suffered a power cut for 24 hours when a power transmission line collapsed. Up until 2002, there was only one power route to Long Island. The first underwater cable in the world, using the direct current technology, HVDC light, is now being laid here to supply another route to New York with power from Canada. As a result, the risk of a new electricity collapse is said to have been halved. HVDC light comes from ABB, a result of the ion generators of the 1930s. HVDC stands for High Voltage Direct Current. In 1954, the first commercial HVDC installation entered service. Now Gotlanders could receive power from the rivers of Norrland instead of a steam power station on the island. From the installation, Pamela Lamb talks about the days and nights that fused together a committed team. Setbacks and faults were remedied on site, and new problems arose. But the installation worked for 30 years before a new HVDC technology could replace the old one. Today there are new challenges. Here on the other side of the world, ABB personnel are installing a new link, an underground cable that will join two existing power networks. It is most likely that these men are unaware that there were skeptics in the 1940s who doubted the technology. Many believed that telephones, traffic lights and other sensitive installations would be affected by the earthing when HVDC was installed. In order to check this, Lam succeeded in persuading the Swedish government to switch off the whole of Sweden for a night. This way it was possible to measure any disruptions with a test earthing from mines at Kiruna to Gothenburg. To be on the safe side, someone forgot a switch en route, so the test had to be repeated. Perhaps it's hard to believe, but it was here that industrial IT was born. HVDC demanded a much more advanced control system, as opposed to normal power transmission. The flexibility and control possibilities revolutionized the entire power network, and gradually within the industry too, but that's another story. In this account, we've made it easy on ourselves by highlighting one member of staff. But Juno was always careful to point out that it was a whole team that lay behind the success. Pamela Lamb christened HVDC the silver thread because the problems and experiments followed her husband throughout his life, and because she was able to take part on Gotland and see it all become reality. Today, ABB would probably christen it the golden thread, as it has made ABB world champion in direct current power transmission.